Hey there, you got challenges, I got solutions. Does it seem sometimes like no matter how organized, clear, or intentional you are, life has a way of throwing curveballs and not doing what you want it to do? Oh, I've been there. I had days of work planned, and then the weather decided to keep me hunkered down at home and away from the studio as everything became layered in a sheet of ice. Life shows up. Today, you planned your day. You know your top priority, but all of a sudden, a last-minute deadline shows up, a toddler's meltdown arises, and the dishwasher decided it's officially done with you, and water is everywhere. Time to bring in the resilience, that act of bouncing back when the unexpected happens without losing your sanity or your momentum. You don't have to throw in the towel, and you don't need to redline it either. Resilience isn't about doing things even harder. It's all about adapting and bouncing back, just like a rubber ball. It also isn't about pretending that everything's fine or being a Zen monk 24/7. Although you are going to hear some wisdom from both of those traditions. We can let ourselves feel our feelings, and if we're wise, we will. Resilience is about being flexible in our actions and our thinking, recovering and staying centered and grounded when life feels like a chaotic mess of a reality show. Does this sound like duh? If I could do that, I'd be doing it already? Well, hang in there with me. You can do it, even if you feel like you're hanging on by a thread sometimes. We can be uncomfortable and keep our clarity about what we want, where we're headed, and how we want to be in the face of our life that is starting to feel a lot like a local circus that we put together as a charity event. We just need some questions. Let's get to the 5 key questions we need to answer to harness our already existing resilience. Oh, right. That's part of this. You already have resilience. We're just going to tap into it by getting the obstacles out of the way. Okay, here we go. Number 1, what's in my control right now? When chaos hits, focus on what you can influence, not the stuff you can't. You can't control the storm, but you can grab an umbrella, or at least a hat. Here's the tool you can use. It's called the ABCs. You can deploy this tool to help you shift your mindset when the seemingly tough times hit. An activating event occurred. That's the A. A client is not pleased with their service and they're letting you know all about it. Your mind starts creating all kinds of beliefs about what it means that they aren't pleased. You start saying things to yourself and possibly everyone else, like, we're going to lose the account. This is bad. We screwed up. Someone is at fault. Thoughts taking over, such as we're going to lose the account or this always happens, start to color the outcome, which hasn't even occurred yet. And that brings us to the C. Our beliefs, the B, can create more of a consequence than the actual event itself. You'll see that most of the time, it isn't the event that makes things tough. It's how we think about that event and what we tell ourselves that makes the difference in the consequence. The stories we tell ourselves about an event can be the self-fulfilling prophecy of the consequences. Are those stories making the event seem better or worse? Exactly. So, what is in our control right now? Me and the beliefs and stories that I tell myself about the event. Remember. The only thing you can control is you. Okay, question number 2. What's the worst case scenario and how likely is it? If you find yourself stuck in your thinking and making up all the dreadful potential outcomes, asking this question can help you put that thinking to a test. Most of the time, our minds go full disaster movie mode. Asking this question helps you zoom out and see that the odds of total catastrophe are likely pretty slim. And here's what's really fun. If you find that something is true about a doom result, you can make a plan. You can take action, not just sit in the rocking chair of worry and despair, going back and forth and getting nowhere. It's okay to be prepared, but jumping out of the plane when the engine's just fine, that seems a bit unnecessary. So, what is the worst case scenario and how likely is it? And you can make a plan if needed. The 3rd question, what can I learn from this? Yes, even seeming disasters can be educational, although maybe not preferred. This moment in time may be one in which you get to learn a lot about yourself and also other people, situations, circumstances. You can get a lot of learnings from things not working out the way you want. For example, I get to learn about who I become when things don't go my way. I get to see why I'm willing to own my part in the situation or the circumstance. And there's nothing funnier than watching my 2-year-old show up and my tiny little sense of entitlement. Find the lessons and move on. Find out what you can learn about yourself and the situation. Okay, question number 4. Am I making this harder than it needs to be? I almost think that if I have to ask myself the question, I already know the answer. You know, if you have to ask. Sometimes we add layers of drama to already tough situations. Keep it simple, like your favorite comfort food. You don't have to complicate mac and cheese. Last and certainly not least, question number 5. Now this one is a big one and can feel quite vulnerable. It's also the biggest thing I watch my clients skip over, and even myself if I'm not careful. Here it is. Who or what can help me right now? This is the one that can be the toughest for a successful, independent type like yourself to even consider asking. Resilience isn't a solo act. Neither is navigating life. The Beatles even wrote a song about it. We all get by with a little help from our friends. Whether it's delegating, having a friend who can listen, or a direct request for help with something specific, don't hesitate to ask for help. You would likely never tell a friend who is having a tough time to buck up and handle it all on their own. So be a good friend to yourself. Get some support. Reach out. All right, let's review these 5 questions. 1, what's in my control right now? Use the ABCs. 2, what's the worst case scenario and how likely is it? Make a plan if you need to, and stay out of the rocking chair of worry and despair getting nowhere. What can I learn from this? All kinds of things if we stay curious and open. That's question number 3. So do that. Question number 4, am I making this harder than it needs to be? If you have to ask. 5, who or what can help me right now? Be a good friend to yourself and do what you'd tell a friend to do. Get some help. Okay. So you've asked yourself some key questions to shift into a different consciousness when the tough times strike and grab onto that naturally occurring resilience. Let's talk about ways we can keep that resilience polished up throughout our days and our weeks when we're navigating the seas of never-ending change and impermanence that we also call life. We're talking about resetting into resilience. Think of these actions like being a kayaker who's really made it through some rough rapids and they find a minute to sidle on up to the bank for a minute or 2 before launching back into the river. First, breathe. As a regular practice and before you spiral, take 4 slow, deep breaths. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, and do that 4 times. It's called 4x4 breathing. It's great for keeping that nervous system nice and chill throughout the day. Second, schedule some recovery time. Set aside calm, cool, and collected time. I call this triple C time. Think a walk outdoors, or a quiet drive in the country, or sitting quietly with your dog. Look through some happy pictures on your phone, or take a spa day. Or just lock the bathroom door for 10 minutes of peace and quiet. It's nice if you can make this fun and engage your mind in activity that you enjoy, of course. And you can also set this up as what I like to call intentional distraction. I love to beat the heck out of my drums, and it gets my mind off whatever else is hammering me, at least for a minute. Next, practice gratitude. Find 3 things to be grateful for. There's nothing too small. Sometimes it can be making it through a tough meeting where you had to deliver bad news, and you still managed to remain calm and encouraging to others in the room. Sometimes it's as simple as being grateful for your feet that let you walk out of the room before you said something you were likely to regret. Thank you, feet. Next, create a resilience ritual. Have a go-to activity that recharges you, whether it's a walk, a playlist, or aggressively singing in the shower. You won't hear any judgment from me, but find 1 or 2 of these things. I'm a big fan of walks, a 5-minute meditation, and yoga. At the office, I love just spinning around in my chair. Next, laugh it off. Humor is a superpower. The next time something goes wrong, imagine how you'll tell the story later. And if you know you'll laugh about it later, why not laugh about it now? Resilience isn't about white-knuckling it at the wheel. It's about staying in the game, no matter what life throws at you, and bouncing back. Keep asking those key questions, take intentional action, and don't forget to find a laugh here and there when things get messy. You can grab your free handout below that lays this all out for you in an easy-to-use resource that you can fill out whenever you need to during the day. And hit subscribe to get more great stuff on how to thrive in the 9 to 5 and beyond. Happy thriving!